Alright, so I love reacting to like random different videos, especially like fighting game stuff, video game stuff. So this is gonna go on my reaction channel, but I'm also gonna put my FGC channel down at the bottom for those who want to sub or play fighting games. You know, I compete in them a little bit. I play them at a high level. You know what I'm saying? So if you play them at a high level, I don't care if that's only blue rank and Tekken. What up, Pop Off? I don't care if that's red rank. I feel like that's high enough. You know what I'm saying? If you beyond that point, sub to me. But this is Avoiding the Puddle. I've been watching his videos for years. What am I about to say? Oh, he's hilarious, number one. Then I don't even know if he's like really a. Now he's an FGC dude because some of the stuff he talk about, but he does everything. He kind of variety streamer. I'm gonna beat this game one day on video. But yeah, y'all check him out. He really a variety streamer, to my knowledge. Was that Sub-Zero? This picture is killing me. This Solid Snake picture. But yeah, he streams everything, but he established himself to where he could do whatever he want, you know. But I got different channels, you know, so whatever. Let's get into it.
I remember, man, that's so amazing. I remember when Tekken 4 came out. I remember when all of the characters on the side were question marks. No one knew who was in the game. Literally, there was no internet, no leaking. You just didn't know who was in the game. And then, as people were playing, it was time released. So what that means is, the moment that this arcade machine was turned on for the first time, 1 week after that, the first character becomes unlocked. One week after that,
crazy.
The next character becomes
So it used to be like that. That's fire, because how do you encode something like that? Because it's not a cartridge. I mean, it's an arcade machine, but like, I'm sure now it'd probably be like a, not a glitch, but a cheat to maybe speed it up, or like, I don't know how they encrypt that, if y'all get what I'm saying. But that's cool though. I never knew that until today. That's fire.
Unlocked. Then, so while we were waiting
and that
for
would
that
make
first
you come
character
to the arcade
to come out, we didn't know who it was. We realized that you could select the next character that will be unlocked, but only if you do random select, which means you had to spend 25 cents to random select your character and pray that you either hit Jin, which was the first character, or a character you knew how to play. That's how it worked. So then finally Jin came out. First week, Jin came out, and then everyone was random selecting to see who the next character was in random select. There was no internet, there was no leaking. It was pure
That's
discovery.
Fire to me. That's so fire.
Isn't that crazy? It worked that way back then?
And that would keep people going to the arcade.
94. That's where I met Shano. He kicked the shit out of me one time. My mom dropped me off over there. Isn't that crazy that it worked that way back then? I remember that. Video 94. That's where I met Shano. He kicked the shit out of me one time. My mom dropped me off over there, and she gave me 15 bucks. And she left. And by the time she left, I was already out of money. I was like, ah, fuck. So then I ended up just sitting around and watching Shano play. And like, I watched him try and get Jin and shit. It was like a million years ago. And then finally, like, I ended up becoming friends with him. And he's one of the guys that taught me how to play game.
I don't know Sean is, but
I must have been like 13 or something. 14. I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
It's crazy how everybody's beard can grow different. Mine's not grow like that. It might, but it ain't gonna be that straight. Cause down here it don't grow like that.
Battle pass and shit, dude. If you think about it as like a business, which is how you have to think about it, they would sell the arcade cabinet, let's say for like, whatever, $10,000. If you want just the board and you have your own arcade cabinet, it's like $6,000, right? So they would sell you the board, you'd buy it, you'd turn it on, you'd put it there inside your cab, and you would charge 25 cents, right? People come and play it, and it's like, fuck, okay, that's cool. But then every week, there is a new thing, for a reason for people to rush through the door on this day and play it. That was part of the business. So I remember those days. Like, okay, it's been 7 days. People were
That's
literally
awesome.
like, you know how they do like go to Best Buy early to buy Pokemon cards type of shit? That's what they did. You'd get there on the day that Jin was coming out, and you would be there, and other people would be there. And be like, oh, hey, what up? And they'd be like, I printed out the move list. And they'd be like, oh, shit, let me get a look at that. And you'd have the move list. And they literally, that was the thing. I printed the move list, dude. I remember that.
That's fire.
Printing LOL?
Printing
Dude,
printing
all the
cheat
tournaments
codes,
we
though.
used to run.
What y'all know about printing cheat codes? But that's, printing move lists and stuff like that. Like, what y'all know about that? Like, you can Google it, yeah, and probably, I don't know how many people had access to a computer back then, but that was something like, I know I used to have to go to the library because I didn't have a printer. I had to go to the library, print the codes out, or print them out at school, then go home and just showing people, oh, these the cheat codes for this. Like, that's so cool.
First, we would run tournaments on like a paper plate. I remember that. Because it was like no one had paper. We were just like, fuck it, we'll draw a bracket. So we would draw it on a paper plate from the pizza place.
That's fire.
Then we started downloading brackets and printing them from Playpool. Do you remember that website? Playpool.com. They had printable brackets. So that's when we started on paper. We grew up.
That's
yeah,
fire.
that was barbarian shit. Yeah.
But I like how he said we use the paper plate. You know what I'm saying? Because that just shows a lot of people improvise and use what they got, and I love that. That's so fire.
Old school barbarian shit. I think Char one time drew a 32-man bracket on a plate. I think I remember something like that. If not a plate, it was like a napkin. Something like that. Don't age shit.
I kind of want to see what this is too.
There are some people that used to go to the arcade that I always like. I never talked to enough, but kind of I wish I did, because some of them died. A lot of the people, I shouldn't complain, but some of the people that died that used to go to Super Arcade, when I see their pictures now, like people will say, dude, this guy that went to Super died. And I'll be like, dude, I want to see his picture. He'll show me the picture, and then I'll recognize them, and I'll be like, damn, I should have talked to him more. Like, I knew him, but, the reason I said I shouldn't complain is because every time so far someone said that about someone that's went to Super, it's been someone I didn't know well. You know what, dude? I don't miss it, because I don't, like, I guess it's rather than missing it, because it doesn't even belong here, When you say I miss it, it almost suggests that you want it again. But that's not what I want. Instead of missing it, I'm just so grateful that I was there for that. It reminds me of like I'm also really grateful that I grew up before the internet, and especially before cell phones in your pocket. Like, that is so valuable to me. People won't be able to get that ever again. It's over. Because it doesn't even belong here, When you say I miss it, it almost suggests that you want it again. But that's not what I want. Instead of missing it, I'm just so grateful that I was there for that. It reminds me of I'm also really grateful that I grew up before the internet, and especially before cell phones in your pocket. Like, that is so valuable to me. People won't.
I remember having a cell phone kind of was like, it was like a big thing. Now, oh, what up, Lil Woods? But I remember having a cell phone, like, even you could have a cell phone with no minutes, you'll still look cool, like, you know what I'm saying? So
be able to get that ever again.
Buying ringtones.
It's over. So me knowing that I went to school, elementary school, high school, and there were no cell phones, that was good. That was like sick, So I don't.
I remember getting in trouble for having my cell phone. like, and I didn't even have it out. I just had it in my pocket. But now they probably wouldn't do that. Like, no phones at all. Like, they just used to despise having a phone.
Same goes for arcades. Like, I don't miss it in the sense where I want it now, because it wouldn't fly.
It really wouldn't work
that
out.
shit wouldn't fly these days, But it was tight when it was around. It was wonderful. Sometimes Jaha will be in here.
I do feel like it should be a place where, you can just all go play fighting games, because I feel like, besides just the internet, like, it should be a place like a fighting game, maybe arcade, not necessarily just an actual arcade system, but it might be PlayStation and stuff there. But I feel like that's what people got to make on their own. So something like House of Chaos, for example, like that's something he did on his own, and he just got a lot of PlayStation people come through, play, whatever. Cause I had a little community like that. I used to be downtown Ann Arbor in this place called Cantinas. Every Wednesday we used to go there. We all get together, play Mortal Kombat. You know what I'm saying? I ended up meeting them through I forget where I met them through, but yeah, we used to do it all the time. Then it stopped, and I kind of miss doing that. Just getting off work, going up there, playing fighting games, because it ain't really too many people that I know in person anymore that plays fighting games, and that's why I feel like it should be, it'd be cool to have something like that, because when there were arcades back then, you knew everybody that was at the arcade playing Tekken or whatever the case is. They all had the same interest in you. Nowadays, you'll never know if somebody play a fighting game or not, because they don't really just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Most people that play games only play Call of Duty, Madden, 2K, and Grand Theft Auto.
Here, and like you said something that I will remember, because I was talking about that Moment 37 Evo that they had, the one where it was held at the same venue as the real Evo, the one where Moment 37 happened. So I was at Moment 37, or the original Evo, and that Evo I qualified. I got 4th place or something, I think.
In what game? I never know he competed.
And I remember the memory in my mind of that venue was that it was enormous. It was huge. Like a auditorium, But when we went there in Moment 37, that shit was like a tiny little room. And when I was explaining that, Jaha said some shit in the chat. He said it was big to us. And that shit, I remembered it. It stuck. Because, I used to think it was a really big deal. Like, as a kid, I used to think, like, it's just a big deal. It's a huge deal.
I still feel like that.
Evo. It's a big deal. But it was
I still never been to
small
Evo.
deal. In reality, it was such a small deal. Not even a deal. That's why he said it was big to us. It was big to us, though. I wonder how many people out there dislike fighting games as much as I do. I guess I don't dislike them that much. I still look at them, but I hate playing them.
Really?
I wonder if
I could see that, because they aren't the same anymore. For the most part, they kind of way easier. But I can see that it is frustrating.
Some people like me.
That's crazy.
I
didn't know he disliked them.
People who were around for a long time and liked fighting games for a long time, but are sick of them because they suck.
That's basically
and
what I was
also
saying.
can't stand online. It's not just today's though. Like, like at first, it was just I'm whining. Like I don't like online. He's complaining. That's true. I felt it. Like, dude, you're just complaining. Online sucks. Everyone knows it. Just fucking play, whatever. But it was more than that. Like, the way everyone around me began to accept it for simple things like, oh, it has fucking rollback netcode, GGPO. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, I personally am thinking you're an idiot. It doesn't matter how good the fucking netcode gets. Doing it from your house is not the same. It sucks. And people just didn't seem to agree with me, or they at least would like
Ain't nothing like playing with a crowd, because I've done competed before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could show y'all. Like, I done competed myself in tournaments, and it is hype playing in front of people. I don't play like real sports no more. I mean, I guess esports is what I do now. Like, let me see, or let me type in KIT. Like, I've played, in front of crowds. This crowd wasn't that big, but
Golden Marble.
as me back when I was skinny and could dunk a basketball. But I mean, I guess it ain't a crowd behind me, so this ain't a good example. But playing, on stream and somebody right next to you,
I remember day one.
like it's way more fun. I feel like if I played more like this, I would be willing to learn, or not willing to learn, but I feel like I would be willing to go harder, especially like, just playing side by side with somebody. Like, I don't know, you could just feel the energy more. It's just better. So I do get what he's saying. It is just better. But also, he don't like fighting games and stuff no more. He don't really, I don't think he go in the rank. But also, he established himself to where he don't even really got to play. He can just sit here, do this, chop it up, play some other games, whatever you want to play.
Agree with me, but they would concede and still play online. And as that shift in culture occurred, I definitely felt left behind. Like, the culture is going to shift over to accepting online as just even anything, just because it has GGPO netcode. I could never get behind that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
And one thing I can say about that is, like, I feel like, I don't know how to explain it, but I remember Justin Wong saying, like, the best character in Marvel 2 is Storm, Sentinel, Magneto, I believe, right? And Cable after that. But he would go to other places, like he would go to Kansas City or something and play. I'm just saying, for example, and it would be somebody that would say, "Oh no, Silver Samurai is the best character in the game." Cause, if you pick Sentinel, he gonna do his assist, or it was something like that, or whatever. He just gonna the assist killer, or whatever. But everywhere, every little place you would go, it would be a different tier list. The tier list would be different because they just base it off the people that play around them and the community around them. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like with online, I feel like, all them styles mix, yeah, but then generally everybody figure out, okay, nah, Silver Samurai sucks and Storm is the best. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like the internet, us playing online and you trying to go, like, I don't, it's not like region locked in a sense. Like, you could just, I don't really know what I'm fully trying to say, but I hope y'all get what I'm trying to say.
Just don't like it. I like arcades.
It's not necessarily like region.
Being next to the person is so cool.
That's what I was just saying,
too. It makes it so
too.
different, Different enough for it to... The difference between cool and not cool is pretty vast. Big. But I don't think that... I don't look at it like I miss it, though. Just cool that I was there to be a part of it, and it's over. Maybe it's because I'm from Southern California and all types of people live here, but...
See? And then there you go with that. If you live in a place like SoCal in New York, I mean, a place like Michigan, we really don't have that to go to a place and just, oh yeah, Justin Wong used to just be here chilling, playing a game. Like, no, like it's. I mean, we have an arcade, we got Pinball Pizza in Ann Arbor, but man, nobody. It wasn't like this to that degree, like the way they play. You from Southern California, I didn't even know.
The arcade was such a weird place where really different people would meet. There were so many people at Southern Hills. That was my first real arcade where the big boys play, and there were so many weird different people, dude, of all walks of life, dude. Literally, there was this guy named Mr. Power. Do you remember him? I don't know if he was really a bigot, but he was cool. He was friends with everyone. And he was cool. But he had bigot shit tattooed all over him, and he was in jail. And he was there being friends with everyone else. And it was so normal. Like, it was like nothing. He was a bro. Yipes and Justin, they're such a good example. It's amazing that Yipes and Justin can be best friends because of arcades. Where else on earth?
And that's a fact, though. They're two different people, and fighting games will do that. You know what I'm saying? Fighting games.
Are Yipes and Justin gonna be best friends?
That's a fact.
They are two different
Think about
it.
Dude. I get what he's saying.
That's sick. Arcades allowed for that to happen.
Okay, so what I was gonna say is, like, when I do go to tournaments, I don't necessarily look the part. I don't know, like, I don't look like the average gamer. I feel like people expect gamers to look like how Justin Wong look, or not somebody like how he said with tats all over his face, or not me being black. I dress a certain way, talk a certain way if I'm being honest. But you'll meet anybody there like that's just fire. That's fire. I forget what I was even about to say, but let me see. Hold on.
Was in jail, and he was there being friends with everyone else, and it was so normal. Like it was like nothing. He was a bro.
You just never know who plays
Yipes
games.
and Justin, they're such a good example.
That's a
It's
fact.
amazing that Yipes and Justin can be best friends because of arcades. Where else on earth are Yipes and Justin gonna be best friends?
That was such a good example, though.
You know? Think about it, dude. That's sick. Arcades allowed for that to happen. Arcades are cool. They're like so weird. It really allowed nerds and thugs to be friends.
Maybe that's what I was trying to say, and I'm glad he said it, and I kept stopping myself from saying that. That's crazy. That's what I wanted to say in a sense, but I just kept like, I'm so glad he said that. Literally. He's not calling Yipes a thug, but
Arcades are cool.
I'm sure Yipes is she from New York. I'm sure he's probably from the project or something. Shit, like I'm from Huron Heights, so like, and I play fighting games to a high level, so it's fire, bro. That's fire.
Cool. They're like so weird. It really allowed nerds and thugs to be friends.
That's a fact.
That's cool. Nerds and thugs. And everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
Every flavor.
That's a fact. Hey, I made sure I go check out Avoided Puddle. That subscribe button and all that. Like the video. That was a cool video, man. What y'all thoughts about, I guess, arcades? Like if you were there back in the day. I never really got to experience that. Being there back in the day. I've been to an arcade as a kid, but at this point, home consoles was out, PS2s was out. When I was about, what was the first time I went to Pinball Pete's? I probably like 8. Could have been younger. I think I went when I was younger too. But also, all the games that I was playing at Pinball Pete's, which is an arcade out here in Ann Arbor. I'm from Ypsi though, whatever. In the area, I already had them games at the house. And then also, I'm not a stick player no matter what. I don't think I will ever learn stick. I might learn hitbox, but I literally I don't even want to try to do it. Because I'm already still learning. I would hate to have to relearn. And I would just be ass forever. And I'm not trying to be ass forever. But, I always was garbage at the arcades anyway. So for me, it's not really, I ain't going to say it's not fun. It's cool to be there. But most of the games that I was playing there, I had at the house. Street Fighter 3, not Third Striker. Street Fighter 2. I had all that at the crib. They never had a Mortal Kombat at Pinball Pete's. They never had it. They had Tekken and all that, but yeah. So for the most part, if y'all got to experience that, drop a story in the comments. If y'all like this video, or like me, subscribe. My FGC video channel would be where the subscribe button at, man. Let's get it.